Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. Loving the background, bud. I saw the sunset over the ocean behind you, over your right shoulder and your left shoulder, looking good.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's an amazing location. Literally, the ocean. Well, as you know, right, is right there. Such a great move.
Yeah, I think it was a smart move, and especially if you're going to be, COVID times and what have you, especially what's going on in the UK with lockdowns. I mean, you guys are in a beautiful sanctuary.
Yeah, lockdown in paradise.
Exactly. If you're going to be in lockdown, not a paradise is the place you want to be.
Makes zero difference to us about lockdown.
Yeah. Well, speaking of your change, let's talk about the opposite. Here we are, Tim, coming into week 2 of the new year. Now, everybody likes to crap on New Year's resolutions, right? All the big names like to make fun of them, et cetera, et cetera. I happen to know some of these guys personally, and they still set New Year's resolutions. So what they're saying to the public and what they're doing might not be exactly the same. They just don't call it New Year's resolutions. But here we are into week 2. Now, week 2, most people are still going strong. Maybe a stumble or two, right? But they usually pick up. It's usually now week 3 and 4, as you know from your background in the fitness industry, is where people fall short, right? Mm-hmm. January, notorious. Gym memberships are through the roof. Gyms are packed. Well, pre-COVID, right? But supplement companies, everything, they do a large percentage of their annual revenue during January. During February, liquor sales go up. Fast food sales go up. Yeah. They take a dip, Tim. It's statistically true in January and February. And so usually when you look at advertising, whether it be Facebook, traditional advertising, Google ads, media placement, you're going to see mostly fitness and health take the key, the lion's share of the real estate, so to speak. In February, it's going to be alcohol and fast food. We're going to take the lion's share, right? And so today I want to talk about Groundhog's Day. Are you repeating patterns of the past? And there's a few ways you can look at this, guys, right? Are the complaints that you have the same as you had last year? More importantly, are the complaints you have now the same as you had 2 years ago? Are the conversations you're having with your wife the same as you've had the last 2 years? Is the sexless marriage the same as you've had the last 2 years? Is your bank account the same as you've had the last 2 years? Is your relationship with your friends and your coworkers and your kids the same? What about your health? Is it the same or even worse? See, guys, we want to get really honest with ourselves, right? Where are we? Until we get honest with ourselves, we're not going anywhere, right? You're going to spin the wheels. Here we are, week 2 of the new year, right? When we're recording, this will be released, right? We're in week 2. Where are you? What's going on? Is it still not the right time for you to make the change, to jump in? Is it still too much money to invest in the class, the course, the trip, whatever it may be for you? What we do is we use excuses to protect ourselves. I fell off paleo, carnivore, gas, whatever diet it is, because ... Tomorrow, which is untold, tomorrow I'll do it. Therefore, today is good. I'll have that other cookie. Yeah, my wife and I still aren't talking. I blew up at her. Things are still not good. It's been a couple years. They haven't really been good, to be honest, which means it's actually been a longer time for her, statistically. We're approaching divorce day, by the way, guys. It's been longer for her. But yeah, now is not the time to get serious about working on myself or my marriage, right? Next week, month, year will be the better time, because look, Tim, it's COVID, the kids are in school, or the kids are in school. I'm too young. Whatever the excuse may be. Guys, it's time to get honest and get real. We lie to ourselves more than we lie to anybody. Tim and I create this space and this time for you. So now it's your turn to be honest with yourself. If I'm trying to get in shape, Tim can't do the push-ups for me. Trust me, I've asked him. It doesn't work. I need to do them myself. And that starts with me being honest of where I am currently. Taking assessment of where you are currently. And Is this a pattern? Are you repeating mistakes of the past?
This sounds cliche, right? And this isn't as to be a plug for what we do, but honestly, my life really made exponential changes when I invested in my first coach. Looking back, what I know now, the coaching was okay, but then it was like, wow, because I suddenly had somebody to point out my blind spots that I just couldn't see.
Yeah.
And it's just the reality. We cannot see our own blind spots. It's like, if you guys listening, if you have kids, right, you'll a little bit different, I guess, but you'll see the kids acting a certain way, or maybe teenagers. They may not know they're doing it, but you can see if you're outside looking in. Same if you've got employees or staff or whatever, right? It's just the way it tends to be when you're on the outside looking in. You see things very differently because you're not involved in the story. There's not as much emotion attached. There's no, all that kind of, there's no ego playing tricks on you to keep you safe and protect you from the truth. So that was really what started to change things for me. I used to do all the right things, right? I'd listen to audiobooks, driving from meeting to meeting. I would set the New Year's resolutions. I would journal. I'd do things, but it was all coming from the same place. There's a great quote by Einstein that I love. You can't solve a problem at the same level of thinking that created it. All right. So if you're going into this year and the answer to Doug's question is, are you having the same conversations and you're saying, yeah, but this year is going to be different, and you haven't invested into, honestly, somebody to give you either tools or perspective, then honestly, guys, the reality is this year isn't going to be different, because how are you going to change your thinking without those things? Yeah. If you've been listening to audiobooks, if you've been listening to podcasts, if you've been reading, and then I invite you to consider that the fact isn't about you doing more learning. You might think, well, Tim, I'm going to do more learning. That's going to change my thinking. By default, I'm going to get a different result. Well, that's not really what we're saying here, because the learning's still going to run through the same filter. So that's where outside counsel, outside perspective is huge. It's leverage. It's the tiny hinge that swings the large door, right? And whether you go and find a new group of friends, maybe people that have achieved what you want to achieve, and go hang about them and ask them how they did it. Sometimes those people can be really invested in your growth. And sometimes, you hear stories of really rich, successful people, not have to be rich, but successful people who take people under their wing, right? Maybe you'll get lucky and maybe you'll find someone like that. And that'd be great, because it's, the stories of those kind of people, and that they're invested in your growth, because that's the key. The other thing here, when you actually invest in, for me at least, when I invested in the coach, I then became invested.
Yes.
Because it was a stretch for me then. It really was. It was only, I think it's $10,000 for the year. Like, it was for one-on-one. Like, it was nothing in comparison. So, our coaching 6 figures for the year, right? One-on-one. Back then I was investing 10K for the year. So point being is, but then it felt like a big deal. It was a stretch. And that was a good thing, because it was a stretch. I then had skin in the game. That then meant I was going to action the coaching advice. But the other thing that happened is, because I'd invested, she also had skin in the game. Right? So usually that's a recipe for success. And, a great thing was, by the end of the coaching together, the 10K was no longer an issue. It was more of a drop in the ocean, because I'd seen an ROI, because she pushed me, and it was a woman, she pushed me to do things that were very uncomfortable for me. And honestly, the suggestions that she made at the time, I was like, no, that won't work. Nah, you're wrong. Just try it, Tim. Just give it And you know what? It was right, because she had a proven track record with helping people in the way that I wanted to help, because I'd hired the right person. So again, guys, I would never have thought of to do those things because they're out of my paradigm now. My filter would have blocked them. So if you want to really make sure that this year is different, change that filter and really look at, okay, how can I change my thinking here? The fast way is through coaching, but I don't know what you like. Maybe you don't like the fast way. Maybe you like to take a slower approach and get slow results and see slow progress. I don't know. If you're anything like the guys we work with, then you value your time and your energy, and you want to get there as quickly as possible. And the fastest way, honestly, is just through hiring somebody or finding a coach or a mentor to give that outside perspective.
Yeah, I mean, success leaves clues, right? And if you want to cut the time, you get somebody who's been there, done that, and more importantly, right? It's like getting in shape. I keep using that analogy. If you want to get in shape, you don't necessarily go to the guy who's got the biggest biceps in the gym. Doesn't mean he knows how to get you in shape, right? You go to someone who's got a proven track record with getting other people like you in shape, right? That is the key in going through there. And so, Groundhog's Day, right? Whatever that thing is that you're stumbling on, right? We had a previous podcast about alcohol, right? Drugs, alcohol, sedation, whatever you want to call it, called Drink a Little Drink, Smoke a Little Smoke, right? That Eric Church song. And so with that, right, you want to find somebody or something who successfully managed that and gone through it. That's not our specialty at The Powerful Man at all. We're simply having a open discussion with a bunch of guys that are alumni, right? They've been through the programs. But you want to find someone who has done that. Or if all of a sudden you want to become a great football player, right? You find an amazing football coach, right? You don't go out and go, okay, I'm going to get an audiobook on how to be a better football player, right? Oh, that's okay. You'll probably learn a couple things. You got to go apply them, and are you doing them right, et cetera. It's not the same. Or a book, what have you. You want to find someone to shorten that gap. But I think even the most important thing, first and foremost, is where are you? We're 2 weeks in, right? Almost everybody that I talk to who does not set New Year's resolutions sets goals on the new year, right? That's a friggin' resolution. I gotta tell you, whatever it is, the New Year's is a good time to take stock of where you're at. And a lot of times, if we do take stock, we go, yeah, I still want to learn Spanish or whatever it is, play the guitar. What is it for you? And if you've had this complaint or this goal for more than 2 years, throw it away. And this could be your marriage. Throw it away or do something drastically to work on it. Life's too short, guys. Life is too short. If you've been complaining about your relationship with your marriage, if it's not where you want to be for more than 2 years, get into the activation method today. Not tomorrow, today. If you've been complaining about your health, your fitness, right? Get into the gym or on a program today. Not tomorrow, today, right? If you've been complaining about your business and you got the same bank account or what have you, get into a program to teach you about how to manage your finances today, not tomorrow. You get where I'm going. It's going to get annoying, but I'm right. And if you say, after this podcast, I'm really going to write this on my calendar for tomorrow, do it today. Book the appointment today with a coach, book the counselor or what have you. If it's the activation method, you're going to talk to an alumni, probably Franco or Ben. Amazing guys. They're not sales guys. They're just advisors. That's it. If you're going to go to the gym, right? Just have a conversation with somebody about what's possible. Hey, have you worked with somebody like me before? I'm a 43-year-old middle-aged guy with 2 kids. I got a 11-month-old, so I'm not sleeping. Have you helped a guy like me before? And they say, yeah, show me. Cool. Awesome. They should be like, yeah, I've helped a lot of guys like you. Or no. Maybe they're being honest. That's even better. But make sure they've helped people like you. Cut the gap, right? And cut the gap and cut the crap and actually take action is really the key here.
Yeah, for sure.
So, gentlemen, if this is your first time with us, first of all, welcome. Welcome to the movement we call The Powerful Man. Go over to thepowerfulman.com/bonus. That's thepowerfulman.com/bonus. And you get a free training, right? It's totally free. There's no expectations or anything. The only expectation is for you to do the work that's in the training, right? To get some immediate results. If you've been with us for a while, thank you for coming back. We also ask you to leave a review if you haven't done so yet. And if you've left a review, share this episode with a friend, right? Show them you care. We're making this movement big. We're really putting the spotlight on men and the men's movement and leading the way for powerful men just like you. All right, guys, that's it for us at the Powerful Man Show. We'll see you next time. Have an amazing week.